Hello and welcome to McDonald Jones Stadium, where we have the Newcastle Knights playing host to their cross-city rivals, the West Tigers. I say cross-city, it's a couple of hours down the road, but there is never any love lost when these two come up against each other. I'm AMAC in the box, and joining me tonight is Liam Ryan. Liam, how wonderful a week of SRL has this been?
Yeah, Mac, it's been an absolutely great week here in the SRL, and we're here for our round nine action. The Tigers obviously taking on the Newcastle Knights at home, and the Knights, they're coming off some successful moments. They're coming third on the ladder at the moment before round nine started, and yeah, they're looking for more success here over the Tigers, who have really struggled to get some wins on the board here, and they're certainly looking for a win here tonight because if they want to make a late finals push, it's got to start now.
Yeah, the Tigers, they were up against the Storm last week, and they only just lost. It was really only in the last 20 minutes. So the Storm were really troubled by this Tigers outfit, and I think if Jeff Keane, Captain Keane, can keep that momentum going, they could really trouble the Knights tonight, Liam.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Tigers are tremendous last week for most of that game, and they really kept their noses in it. So if they're able to do that for more of tonight, I think they'll really trouble this Knights side because, yeah, they certainly struggled a little bit last week, but yeah, ended up getting the job done against the Canberra Raiders.
As we see Pancake Gamer taking it just shy of the 30. Now, looking at both of these team lists tonight, Liam. The Knights, they haven't really got any changes, which is no big surprise, but we do have a debutant coming in for the Tigers later on.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a new player for the Tigers, Dean Bennett, coming off the bench. We'll see him after the halftime break, and it's certainly really exciting to see what he's going to be able to do.
As the Knights, they get through the first of their sets, a really good set so far, getting right down to attacking zone as Jake Xander comes back and he is met hastily on the 10-meter line. Now, both you and I, we've been watching these teams and we've had the chance to commentate these teams on and off all season. What have you liked about the Knights from what you've seen so far, Liam?
Oh, look, I think the Knights, they're very good attacking wise. They're just brilliant at hunting you down. If you just, even if you make the slightest of an error, they'll certainly capitalize in the red zone, and they're just so consistent, not able to make any errors. You can't really capitalize too much because they don't make the errors that other sides will, and I think that's what makes them so great. And defensively, they're certainly not a terrible unit either. Yeah, they're just very hard to beat across the board.
Yep, and I was saying it earlier in the week. Everyone's watching the big fight out for top honors. Oh, there's a bit of a high tackle there against the Sharks, against the Tigers. Sorry, I've still got the Sharks imprinted on in my brain based on what they did to us on Monday night. Um, I I've been looking at the Knights, and everyone's been looking at the Rabbitohs, and they've been looking at the Storm and what they've been doing to fight it out for first position. And I really think that the Knights are coming in as a small little smoky here and slipping under the radar in SRL 2.1 here, Liam.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Knights, they're certainly a smoky to finish first minor premierships. They're coming third at the minute, like 6-2 record. They're no slouches. They've got a point differential of 53. They're not that far off, and I think that to underestimate them, you'd be doing them a disservice because when they put it on, they're very hard to beat. And as we saw earlier in the week, we saw that the Rabbitohs, they're not unbeatable. So the Knights, I think they might be able to capitalize on that.
As we get a lovely little grubber in, but Dobson picks it up, and the Tigers, they escape from danger. A really good attacking set there from the Knights, and we'll see if the Tigers can fight their way out of their half. They've got to the 20 here, Liam, but they are struggling right now.
Yeah, they absolutely are. The Tigers. I think they're just going to work. Oh, that's a great run from Kobe Johnson. I think they've got a great middle here, and I think they're just going to try and use that tonight. I think they've got to use their strengths. You know, as I said last week, they've got to use Cody Mansour and just put it through this forward pack. Trust them to be able to get them the job done because otherwise, I think they'll be in for a long night.
And that was a phenomenal kick there from Kobe Johnson, sitting in there at the lock for a 20-40 kick. The Tigers, they need to use this momentum to get across because if you let the Knights attack you for far too long. They just drain your stamina something fierce, and well, you pay for it in the end. As Captain Keane breaks off one and shrugs off another, gets up over the 20-meter line, and that is their first 15 meters out from the Knights line. Again, Captain Keane, he's going to want a good fight tonight. He is probably the most consistent player in the Tigers outfit for this season, and he is showing it out there already. They go blind. Nochi bumps off one. He can't bump off another, though. These forwards for the Tigers are showing up. Ashman goes blind. Keane, he takes it himself. He could have passed it out to his winger, who had almost an open line in front of them, but he holds it and they play it. Ashman, good ball to Kanochi, but the Knights, they hold them back. If the Knights can survive this kick, that will be an absolutely phenomenal effort here. And that's exactly what they do. Ewan picks it up. They get out 5 meters, and the Knights, well, they show exactly why they're sitting in the third position there, Liam.
Yeah, absolutely. It was brilliant defense there from the Newcastle Knights. Just a brilliant job to recognise that it was going to be a grubber and just sit back from Ion and take that ball off the grubber. And yeah, but I think the Tigers, they just weren't really alert enough, particularly Cody Mansell there. He's got to be chasing hard at that kick because you won't get many opportunities. Oh, and they give away a hold and tackle penalty. As I was saying, you won't get much opportunities against this brilliant Newcastle outfit, and you certainly can't be giving too many penalties away against them.
As Ralsei Plush, probably, well, from what I remember from the recently released SRL numbers, the only non-fullback in the leaderboard there for the SRL SimVP points. A good hit out there. My, coming second. Up we go, Pancake Gamer. Hodgson pushed back again. The Tigers, they do not want to give any more meters here to the Knights, especially after what they perpetrated up the other end, as in Durain, 35 meters out for his fourth. We've gone 11 minutes so far, and no one has scored yet, as we get our classic inside-outside back into Maiava, but she is pushed back almost to the 40. Fifth tackle, 18 meters gained. Not a bad defensive set there for the Tigers, considering the amount of piggyback they gave the Knights up the field there, Liam.
Yeah, it was a good defensive set there from the West Tigers. They did a good job to hem the Knights inside their attacking 40. So they're just gonna have to work it out of their end. But it's not great meterage on offer so far. And yeah, I think they might be needing another brilliant Kobe Johnson 2040 here.
As Cashman darts out of dummy half to get them within range of that kick. Is Kobe lined up in the background there? It looks like no. They're going to Leondis, who shanks it. Although we might have a bit of a captain's challenge here. We'll see exactly what happens up on the board.
Checking if the ball is knocked forward.
Off the back of Indurain from the looks of things. Oh, I think I just heard them say knocked forward by the Knights. I don't think I agree with that one, Liam.
Oh, it looks like, is that first touch into the Tigers? Is that what they're ruling there? Because, yeah, to me it looked... I could have ruled either way, but I guess on field, you probably would have stuck with the on-field call there, because I just don't know if there was enough evidence to be conclusive there.
No, but as far as we know, if there hasn't been any SRL at captain's challenges, that at least is a successful bet for a couple of individuals out there. Leondis gets up to the 50 for their fourth. They won't be relying on a 40-20 because, well, they're actually going to exit their half here as Mansour only just gets across the line. So that's a good push there from the Tigers. A little bit of extra luck they had up the other end, and they get to punt off down the field off the boot of Leondis. Having said that, here comes Ewan, and he is brought down by Leondis, chasing his own kick, and a good set there from the Tigers. With 5 minutes left to go, I don't think either team thought this was going to happen by the time they got here, Liam.
Yeah, definitely. I think the Tigers, they're in for a bit of a surprise here of themselves. As we see, owned my arm, we were a great run. Oh, he's into the sideline. And yeah, that's a great ankle tap there. I believe it was the Tigers. Was it the half out there? Oh, it was actually Cody Mansell, wasn't it?
Cody Mansell, yeah. Oh, and Cody had to make that ankle tap because there was no one between Ewan and the try line just then. So been crowing about them all night so far, the Tigers, but they are really working their way into this game, Liam.
Yeah, they definitely are. I think the Tigers, they've played well so far, and they're about to reap the rewards because I think that their bench props are actually better than the Knights. Bold statement or not, they've actually got some really good uh, power coming on in the likes of Causa Carrigan and Isaac Simons. I think that they're about to rip this game apart.
Yeah, we're getting to that point in the season where some of those props are really starting to get their speed legs on, which is great to see from some of these bench forwards. As Keane plays the ball and Mataus has to punt it all the way down. Mai's been fairly quiet so far tonight, and she can't really get past the 20 here. For the Knights, they're fighting out of their red zone.
Yeah, they certainly are, and probably the first time we've seen it for a while here. Is they probably won't have too many issues though with how their forwards have been working. Oh, thought there was an unmarked wing around that right hand side, but Mai chooses to take the ball nonetheless, and Rousey Plush ends up taking it. But yeah, the Knights, I think that they're in being inside. Oh, what happened there? Thought I saw a man dive with the ball. But yeah, it's fifth tackle, and they'll kick it out of their own end.
Yeah, bit of a poor set there by the Knights, saved by two dummy half runs there by Rousey Plush and Otis Keane, and a really good kick chase to smash Ram Raid and force him not to run off up the field. So again, as you said, we've got about a minute and a half until some bench forwards come on. It's going to be interesting to see how that shapes the game as they look shaping up down the blind side. That could have almost ended very badly there for the Tigers. But Ram Raid picks up with his sticky fingers and they keep on pushing. Kelly is forced back as another Knight player absolutely takes one hell of a dive. And the Tigers, they only just get to their 50. So this is what we were talking about when we talk about that stamina. The Knights have been able to keep the Tigers fairly contained, and now they're finding it difficult to make the meterage there, Liam.
Yeah, definitely. I think that it's really starting to show. As you said, it's just the fitness or whatnot. The Knights, they just do a brilliant job of event. Oh, and that's a huge error from the Knights. We were just starting to praise them for their defensive output, and yeah, they just make a huge error. As Jake Zander out on the wing, almost breaking through as Mama makes a great tackle here. As the Tigers have a great opportunity with 3 tackles on the Knights line.
As Dobson pushes, but he's on his back, just shy of the line as some Knights. Oh, Cashman tries his hardest to get forward, but he just gets forced backward by some desperate defense. That is an interesting way to score a try there, Liam, because, well, from the looks of things, it looked like there were some big issues with communication there.
Yeah, that's certainly an interesting way for Causa Carrigan to make his impact on the game. I did say Causa Carrigan and Isaac Simons are going to wreak havoc on this one, but I'm not sure that's what I thought when I said that. But yeah, Causa Carrigan nonetheless scores from dummy half, and the Tigers, if Jeff Keane can convert this, they're about to have a converted try lead in this one. And I know I didn't think this was the way this game was going to pan out, but the Tigers have done a terrific job.
And it's good to see. Everyone loves an underdog story as the Tigers run back. 18 points left in the half, 6 points up. Captain Pretzel there, he's looking a little bit shocked. I don't really think he'd be blaming his boys, though, because, well, we've said it before, that was a very unconventional way to score a try there, Liam.
Yeah, absolutely. It was definitely a outlier way to score a try, and yeah, I think the Knights, that error was quite poor, but nonetheless, they don't make that error very often. So I think that they'll just let themselves off and live to fight another day, because as long as they're not making those errors regularly, it's probably not going to hurt them too often on the scoreboard.
As Carrigan, our try scorer, plays the ball. Simons links up with Keane. Keane pushing forward up to the 40. Force down, trying to slow the ruck down a little bit, the Knights, but that's not going to help them as Carrigan is pushed back yet again. Where's Johnson? Give him the ball. He needs to kick it off for another 40-20. They give it to Mateus, though, who just pounds it straight down the guts. Here comes Mai. Is there a passage up the middle? There is not. She is muscled back into the red zone. The Tigers finish yet another good set, Liam. Believe it or not, it's getting very difficult to see where the Knights are going to get their points from.
Yeah, definitely. I think the Knights are certainly struggling here. As we say, Rouse Plush take a brilliant run out of dummy half. But yeah, I think the points are probably going to have to come from a different spot. But their forwards are usually where they look to find the meterage. They're still getting good meters here out of their sets, yardage sets. But yeah, I think they've just got to look to their halves because to find some magic here. I know Josh Pretzel and Alex Relmy, they're brilliant halves. They've just got to look for some creativity and hope that they'll be able to get themselves some extra meters.
As Jake Zander shrugs off about 2 tackles there and tries to get around Joey June, but is forced back. The Sharks, they're starting on the other side of the 20, and that's a massive run by Simons, although, again, he's pushed back by Joey June, who's just made 2 tackles in a row. Dobson off Diab. Diab kind of backs his way through the line and doesn't really get too much further. The Knights, I think they've grown tired of letting the Tigers into this one, as Cashman absolutely floors that Knights defender. The Tigers, they might not be making any meters, but man, they are doing it flashy. Although that is not the flashy that you kind of want from your forwards there.
That's not great right there. Oh, did that actually go off the back of the Isaac Simons, or do you reckon that just came a shank off the boot? Because to me, it looked like it was just a shank.
I think it was just a shank, but Isaac Simon standing in front of Leondis probably didn't help the matter, as the Knights almost cough it up straight away. Joey June looking a little bit tired out there with that defensive pressure, makes it up to the 10. Rush out to Gamer, Pancake Gamer. He scored his own a couple of games ago. I reckon he wants another one. Just shy of the 10. Coming back. June just taking a hit up. The Knights, they're just doing some simple stuff here, and it seems to be working. They go blind. Mayava links up with Ewan, and Ewan is absolutely folded. I think he thought he was going straight over the line there, and it just didn't work. And, well, Johnston is somehow able to stay out, and the Tigers survive by the skin of their teeth there, Liam.
Oh, wow. That is absolutely insane stuff from the Tigers. But we've got to touch on this. Mayava, I thought she was in for all money. I thought that she had a clean patch of grass there, but she passes to her mate, Owen Mayava, and yes, they botch a try because I just thought Mama patch of grass, there wasn't even a defender on her, and she just passed it out, and the Knights, they just botch another chance.
As Cody Mansour makes about 20 meters off that little pass. The Knights, they kind of let the Tigers out of their goal just then, as Leondis punts it all the way down, and here comes Ewan once more. He can't get through the line either, and, well, we're in our final 10 minutes of this first half, and, here we go. The Tigers, they're leading with their shoulders, and that is what's bringing them into the game so far, Liam.
Yeah, they're just doing a terrific job at jolting that ball out, and yeah, I think that's the second time they've done that, but this time it's in the Knights' red zone, and yeah, they're going to have an amazing chance here to make it 12 points to nil. They can score. Oh, John O'Cashman takes another dart.
Oh, Rouse Plush, they had to keep them out. Become blind. Leondis linking up with Diab. Xander can't get around though. Good tackle there by the Mayava. Playing ball, 4th tackle. Dobson just taking a settler. And he's over. That's 2 the Tigers are in. And, well, I think the Steel City fans are just a little bit shocked out there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's upset city here tonight, as Josh Dobson does a terrific job at just barging his way to the line and dragging that Knights defender with him. And yeah, no one grabbed the legs there, but it's a brilliant try there from the second row, Josh Dobson. And the Tigers, they're certainly going to be happy about this one. Jeff Keane will be absolutely stoked with his team's effort. 8 minutes to go in this first half. Oh, and he misses the conversion, but who cares? The Tigers are up 10-0. Get around them.
Well, we're talking about an upset at the moment, at the point of recording, there have been 9 people going Tigers 9-18, which is, well, you said it, upset kingdom right now. As they get ready to line up, we got about 7-8 minutes until we get to half time. If the Knights can't score, they'll be going in to the halftime break 2 tries down. I can only imagine what Captain Pretzel's going to say to his team in those sheds there.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be too happy with his side's efforts so far, and I'm sure they'll learn of his distaste when they get into the halftime sheds that they can't get a try before halftime.
As Mansour plays the ball on the other side of the 30. Adaus links up with Johnston. Lovely passing all the way across the line. Leondis comes down with it on the other side of the 40 for their third. Tigers are making meters at will at the moment. Johnston coming down halfway, fourth tackle. They pass it again. They don't dart out of dummy half. They're using that quite liberally at the moment. And Captain Keane ends a lovely attacking set, 63 meters down the field, well inside the Knights' half. Adius, lovely kick. They haven't kicked it to Hodgkinson very much this week. And you'd have to think that is probably a tactic because, well, Hodgkinson, he kind of opened the game a fair bit for the Knights last week, and he could be a very scary winger in open field there, Liam.
Yeah, definitely. It's probably a tactic from the Tigers, and I'll credit them with that too, because yeah, the Iron Marva has had limited impact on this one whenever he's got the ball off those kick returns. So yeah, it's a brilliant job there from the Tigers. We see Hodgkinson, what he can do, and down this wing and down the short side, and yeah, it's a terrific job from the winger there as he's finally gets his side a chance inside this Tigers half.
So with 4 minutes left to go, the Knights, Pancake Gamer, the lock, he decides to kick it all the way down to Xander. And Xander goes on a bit of a run, gets around My, and he is off. There is a couple of chasers. Joey June somehow runs him down. The Knights, the Tigers, they tried to stop her, but it is panic stations here for the Knights. Causa Carrigan, he gets up over the 30. Second tackle, 25 meters out. Dart out dummy half. No, we passed it a long ball out to Keane. Captain Keane is up 25, 15 meters out, third tackle. It would be painful for the Knights if the... Oh, here we go. 0 tackle. Simons is over. That was a phenomenal passage of play. And the Tigers, they have scored 3 unanswered tries in this first half, Liam.
Yeah, this is just incredible stuff. Isaac Simons, what a try. These bench props have made an impact. First, we saw Causa Carrigan score a try. It was unconventional for sure, but Isaac Simons, that's certainly not unconventional. Just barges off a couple of defenders to score the Tigers' third. And Jeff Keane, he'll be looking to convert this to make it 16-0 going into the break. There's obviously 2.5 minutes-ish going into before we go to half time, and the Knights, they have significant work to do if they want to get back in this one.
Yeah, the Tigers, they'll be happy at 16-0, not the infamous 14-0, especially coming out against the second half with this Knights outfit. Pretzel, he's not looking very happy with the ball right now, and if I wouldn't want to be that ball right now as it is booted. And I say booted all the way down. Here comes Mataus. This will probably be the last set of the half for the Tigers. We were talking about what we think the Knights are going to say in their halftime sheds. I kind of want to be in the Tigers shed because I can only imagine how happy Jeff Keane is going to be with his boys there, Liam.
Yeah, it's a long time coming for Jeff Keane because obviously he's had to endure some really tough times with this team. He's obviously been vocal about his unhappiness with the team so far in this season, and to finally get some success, she'll certainly be happy to be a Tiger in those sheds because yeah, I think Jeff will certainly be tooting their praises here as we see Johnson take another beautiful kick. Johnson's been terrific in this first half.
Oh, it's Ewan. Makes a lovely break there, but it's not going to be enough with 15 seconds left on the clock. He very slowly plays the ball as Pretzel links up with Smith, and Smith will take the last hit up of the set. On up, he plays the ball. Lovely passing over. Joey June, weird little offload there. The Knights a little bit desperate.
Yeah, with those tackles, they were certainly interesting, and the Knights, unsurprisingly, had 40 more tackles in that first half, 124 compared to 84 for the Tigers. And yeah, missed tackles, there certainly wasn't too much of a difference. The Knights missing one more tackle, and the line break, so there wasn't too much difference there. As we said, the Tigers are on a brilliant set here on the last. Rambraid puts a kick in and it goes dead. But as I was saying, the meterage for the Tigers, they have certainly absolutely railroaded the Knights in meters as well. 536 meters compared to the Knights only near 400. And some individual contributors for the Knights. That Ione Maaba, he had about 98 run meters in that first half, but he was like our only contributor, and yeah, they're going to need to step it up in this second half. And for the Tigers, though, they certainly had some key contributors. Jake Vander out in that wing, he was brilliant as well. 114 meters in that first half, and Josh Dobson, he was brilliant out in that right back row spot. 100 meters exactly in that first half, AMAC, and yeah, we're seeing an interesting start this second half.
Yeah, the intensity is still there from both teams, and the Tigers, well, they're kind of letting the Knights back into it. They need to find that intensity that they showed in the first half, and well, the Knights, because of such a low completion rate, or at least a low percentage rate, it'll be interesting to see what they can do when it comes back to 50-50, as Keane gets up over the 20 for his second tackle. Very slow play the ball there, but the refs keep it in the pocket. Back on the inside to Bennett. There is the debutant in the number 16 jersey for the Tigers tonight. Welcome to the SRL, and I hope you do well. It would be a wonderful game if you finish off winning it, but not with runs like that for the Tigers there, Liam.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just a poor error there from the Tigers, as we see. I believe it's Jake Zander that went out. Oh no, Errol Ramraid went out on the sideline there and made the poor error just going into the touchline. And yeah, it certainly won't help them here. As yeah, you don't want to invite this Knights side into your end. And when you're up 16 points and they're a little bit unfamiliar with this big of a lead at halftime, yeah, they just don't want to hand it over too easily.
Well, as we get a pass along the line all the way out to Maxwell, third tackle, they're just in the 40 now. The Tigers are doing what they can to hold them out. Pancake Gamer, 25 meters out, fourth tackle. And they need one more good push to get within kicking attack damage. As, oh, there we go. That's not what we want to do. As Coda Diab grabs a lovely intercept. And, well, the Knights, they're just their own worst enemy at the moment, Liam.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been the story of the night, hasn't it? The Knights, whenever they get into some good field position, they've just made an error and given the ball back to the Tigers, and the Tigers have certainly capitalised on that. And yeah, it was a brilliant intercept from Coda Diab as they're working out of their own end. As we say, a 6 again call. That is absolutely not what the Knights need. There is, yeah, the Tigers are going to have another opportunity to make this lead even larger.
Has not just another 6 again. Well, yeah, there's another 6 again call. Obviously come off the Knights there as it mashed itself all the way 10 meters back. So things are not looking pretty out there as long as you're not a Tigers fan. As Cashman darts out and up over the 40, making some good post-contact meters in at the number 9. Blindside, Coda Diab rockets it back. Zander on his wing. They try to push him out, but he's able to hold on and stay in. Third tackle. You got all the world to work with, and Mansour shimmies on through the line to get 15 meters out for his fourth. 2 to go. The Tigers, they can sniff another one. Carrigan links up with Simons. Those bench props again. 5 meters out. Fifth tackle. 30 minutes left in the half. A kick here. Oh my goodness. I don't know exactly what happened there, but it looks like we're going up for a captain's challenge.
Checking if the ball is knocked backwards. The ball is knocked forward by the Tigers.
Oh.
Okay, knocked forward by the Tigers in the process of scoring, not on the try line there, Liam.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a bit of a poor captain's challenge there from the Tigers. There was a lot to work through for the bunker there, and they do a terrific job there. But yeah, the Tigers, they almost had another try there if Cody Mansour could capitalise better on that one. And yeah, the Tigers. Oh, that's a huge shot on Pancake Gamer as we say that. But yeah, the Tigers had another opportunity and weren't able to take that one. But yeah, they'll certainly be happy with handing the ball over on the Knights line.
As that's a good run from Otis Keane, who makes them within 40-20 territory. Lovely kick from Pancake Gamer. It's not really got the distance, though. The chasers, good chasers, however, and they've trapped the Tigers here in the 30. So they weren't going anywhere there, the Knights, and some enterprising runs from their backs are enough to get them up. It looks like that's what they're going to have to keep relying on, because punching it up the middle is not working against this this Tigers team, Liam.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they just need to keep on turning around this Tigers defensive line, because otherwise nothing's working. They're punching it forward, as you said, is just not doing anything. They need to do something creative, whether it's those 40-20 attempts, trying to find that way to get inside the red zone, or whether it's just spreading the ball. They just need to do something different, because frankly, punching it up for 6 every set is not working like it usually is for the Newcastle Knights.
As Mayava, 25 meters out, time is slowly ticking away, and that is not going to be benefiting for the Knights here tonight, the home team. Second tackle, they keep coming this way. Pretzel, hospital pass, and Mataus comes up with it. So time is ticking away, and that is definitely not going to help. You would almost say that if the Tigers can get across at the end of this set, Liam, that will be done and dusted for the game.
Yeah, you might hear a fat lady sing if we say a try at the end of this set, because the 22 points, it's not unheard of, but yeah, it's certainly going to be hard to do if they can get a 22-point lead here, the Tigers, and yeah, they'll be able to take their foot off the gas pedal a little bit if they can get a try here.
As the Knights are able to keep the Tigers to 17 meters gained, as Bennett puts a little dink in, and Plush comes up with it for their first. So not really a very good set for the Tigers, but any set that can keep the Knights down in their half is going to be respectable. Plush linking up with Camilo Aha, getting up over the 30. They could probably put in another kick if they get another 10 meters here, and that's probably what they're going to need to rely on, because well, Mayava, she's trying to get up there, and she's just not being able to get through the line. 45 meters out. Relmi linking up with Bunmo Joel back on the inside to the captain. They finally get into the Tigers' half. Not a terrible set there for the Knights, but again, if they're relying on the muscle to work their way up, they need to do it quicker, because they do not have the time. Although that's a good kick chase, Liam. That might be enough to keep the Tigers pinned down in their half.
Yeah, definitely. They need to try and force an error here, because I can't see another way that they're going to be able to do it quickly enough, because winning this field position battle is going to take a number of sets, and the Tigers, they're not having an issue of working out of their own end at the minute, and yeah, they're just going to have to try and force an error and get some good field position through that.
As Cashman plays it, we're rocking it back here for a 40-20. Mataus boots the ball, but Mai is there to stop it from happening. Oh, they almost push Mai over. Oh, only just. So here we go. They've got 23 minutes or so to get up the other end of the field. Maxwell pushes up to the 30. Second tackle. Tigers lying in the ruck. They've got to be careful. They can't afford to let that happen, as Keane tries to push through and is forced down on the 30. Third tackle. One more push here. They can put a kick in of their own, as Maxwell makes some good post-contact meters to get the Knights exactly where they need to get them. But Plush sees the gap and darts out of dummy half. I don't know if that was the move, and I don't think Captain Pretzel's going to be very happy with his hooker right there.
Yeah, no, he's not. It probably wasn't the play there from Rousey Plush. She's been absolutely terrific through this competition so far, and yeah, it was just a fatal mistake there. It's just not the time for a dummy half run on fourth tackle. There's a time and a place, and that certainly wasn't it.
Simons plays the ball on the 30 for his second. Oh, interesting pass as Mansour somehow gets through the line through all that congestion there. And I suppose that's been the Tigers. luck's been a little bit on their side, and they are taking their chances whilst they can. Captain Keane straight up the tram lines there. 4th tackle. Going wide. Simons just taking a simple settler. They put it down just shy of the 40, and we're about to hit over that 20-minute mark. Adus boots it. Not a terribly deep kick, but is it going to be enough to keep Hodgkin in place? It is. They wrestle him down on the 20, and as we see some props going in and going on, well, there they are. Time, again, I say it's slowly slipping away. They're not yet at a point a minute, but it's almost going to be a Tigers win tonight at the moment, Liam.
Yeah, definitely. We've got 18 minutes roughly to go. And yeah, it's certainly not looking great when you have kicks like that from Pancake Game, giving Mansour just too many meters on that kick. And yeah, they're already at the Knights halfway line, and yeah, they're gonna have a brilliant opportunity here, and it's just getting worse and worse for the Knights, isn't it?
Yeah, and as we've seen this week, this hasn't been the only upset game. There's been a couple over the last 2 nights, and well, we might as well go along and call this upset round. As the Tigers, 15 meters out, 4th tackle, we're coming across. Boom, linking up with Keane. Keane is not going to want that happening to him again, as Leondis flies it up and high. We've got no tap back from Mr. Kelly. He's put down 5 meters out with 17 minutes left to go. And what did you say earlier? Oh, Smith is absolutely leveled there for the Tigers. Normally, a team 16 points ahead with 16 minutes left, they could slowly let the throttle off here, but it looks like the Tigers really want to muscle this one in, Liam.
Yeah, the Tigers, you can understand it from their level because they've struggled to get a win all season. And yeah, they're in this position now. They're just wanting to get victories here because they have a finals push they want to get to. If there any chance, they've got to win here and win big. So they're obviously 1-7 so far in the season. If they can get this done, they'll be 2-7, and hopefully within a chance to make those finals.
Oh, as Ram Raid, he's off. He's going. There's no one going to stop him, and he is over. Jeff Keane all season has been saying trust in the Tigers 19 plus, and Errol Ram Raid looks like he's just done that. It is currently 20 points to nil, possibly 22 points to nil, Liam.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just brilliant work from the Tigers there. Era Rambo gets it on the kick return and does a brilliant job at stepping those Knights defenders and finding that lane to just absolutely pounce through. And the Tigers, they've got their claws in deep here, and they're certainly showing their bite here tonight.
Now, this is going to be a very important win here for the Tigers because depending on how 2 other games go, this could very much see the Tigers stepping away from the wooden spoon position tonight, Liam.
Yeah, definitely. It's obviously dependent on how the Cowboys and the Bulldogs go in their clashes this week. I believe the Cowboys this round, they play Wednesday night, the game before this one. So you will all know how that game went. But yeah, the Cowboys always play the Warriors, and the Bulldogs, they play the Raiders. So contingent on those results, the Tigers, they could be very well off the wooden spoon.
And wouldn't that just be one hell of a way to end the round for Captain Keane? It's always painful waiting for the last game of a Wednesday, and this is Tigers territory. Unfortunately, here for the Knights. Diab, it's a lovely little boot in, but my is already down there to stop that from happening. Can't get around, though, and come back to the 30. 13 minutes left. It's well and truly done. The Knights are not coming back. They might have a couple of points in them just for pride's sake. But looking forward to next week as Bailey Munro-Jones almost makes a meal of that one. Is this a case of the Knights having to go back to the drawing board here, Liam, or is this just a bit of an aberration?
Oh, look, I just think this game, you just got to forget about it. You have games like this every once and again, and yeah, you just got to forget about the Newcastle Knights because, yeah, they played so well all season. I don't think that you can really just go in and change your entire plan because it was working so well. But if it happens again next week, I think you start to look at maybe changing something. But they were so good against the Raiders last week that, yeah, I think that there's no need to change something that wasn't broke. And yeah, looking forward to next week, they do play the Penrith Panthers, so it's not like they're playing some juggernaut next week. Just continue with this lineup, and if it doesn't work next week, hopefully you come out with a win, and yeah, you still be able to tinker things up if it doesn't work.
As June plays it there on the 10. We come across with Relmy linking up with My to Hodgkinson, they're trying to get across. Brought down desperately, 2 meters left. Lovely long pass out to Indurain. Smith pushing over, and the Knights have finally scored. It only took them 70 minutes of them, but they've got across the line and absolutely broken the hearts of the 3 gentlemen who went for the Tigers 19 plus. So there's life in the Knights still. It might be bittersweet, but at least that's something there for Captain Pretzel.
Yeah, at least they got off the donut there. Cameron Smith does a brilliant job there and gets them off the 0 mark on their tally tonight. And yeah, does a brilliant job at just barging his way. He went about 5 or 6 meters and yeah, drags that Tigers defender. That's a little bit more of what we've seen out of the Tigers in the first, 8 weeks of the season. But yeah, uh, just reverting back to some of the defensive tendencies from what we've known of them. But yeah, they've been so terrific tonight, and I don't want to see them reverting back to those what they previously did in defence because tonight they've been terrific, and you wouldn't want them to go back to those that form of performance.
As Mame takes the first ball up. Bush coming across Hodgson. Been very quiet tonight, Hodgson. He's usually had a pretty strong game for the Knights, and he's just been smothered by some of those Tigers forwards. As June, much the same. More defensive output than June is really used to. Bush had a dummy half to get up to the 40. They could put a 40-20 kick in here. Do you give it to Relmy, or is it all the way back to Indurain? Indurain filling in for Locke for these dying minutes. Doesn't really have the right angle for the ball, and Mansour, well, he makes a good 20 meters on the kick return there, and the Tigers, they are in some good field position. Now, you were asking me at the beginning of the game, Liam, if the Tigers need to do any trades to maybe improve their footy stocks, and I suppose the Tigers, they've answered that question for both of us tonight.
Yeah, they definitely have. They've really been good tonight, and yeah, with this, oh, as we say, a bit of an error as we start to praise the Tigers. But yeah, they've been terrific tonight, and I don't think that Captain Cairns going to be needing to pick up the phone and talk to any other captains about trading.
No, it's Matthews and Mansour link up all the way out to Ram Raid. They lost the ball, then got the ball back by Boom and his big hands. Ashman, Bennett linking up. Boom again, hitting the line and being dragged down fiercely in defence. Bit of a slow play of the ball, but we keep on going. Ashman coming across wide. Keane has had an absolute captain's knock tonight, and I cannot wait to see how many meters he has racked up. As the Tigers, they go wide. Mansour, though, he can't really get through the line, and the 5th tackle option, they've got to put it deep and boot it. Off the side of the boot, of course, as Hodgson comes back. He gets around 1, and he's running off, and there is no one between him and the line. So the Tigers, they've let in 2 in the dying minutes of the game to bring it back to a 10-point game. Again, probably not enough for the Knights to come back and win it, but this is something that the Tigers are going to have to look at on the drawing board next week.
Yeah, definitely. It's just a good breakaway from Hodgkinson there. Credit to him. But yeah, as you were saying, the Tigers, they've got to work on this. Not falling asleep in the final 20 minutes of games is something they've really got to work on because if they want to make the finals, they will certainly be in some close games. And yeah, they've really got to work on not conceding late tries because it's what's cost them early on this season. And yeah, they just need to fix it up because bad things happen when you're conceding a lot of tries to end games. And obviously, it's not helpful for that for and against.
as Captain Keane. He's looking a little worried. He probably shouldn't be. There's only 4 minutes left. That's probably not enough time for 2 tries. Maybe 1 try. Really put the fear of God in the Tigers, but probably not 2. As coming down to Realmy. Realmy hits the line hard and pushes up to the 20. If the Knights did come back and score another one, again, that is going to be a bit scary, Liam, but it's not beyond the pale of the suggestion here tonight.
No, it's not. If they can score this set somehow, it will certainly inflict some scare into that Tigers outfit. Jeff Kane will really be getting it into his boys in the huddle if they can get a try in this set, because yeah, they have about 2 minutes to score and they're off the back of 3 back-to-back tries. It would certainly be very scary stuff for Jeff Kane.
As in Durain, another one down the guts to Ramraid. Ramraid is shoved straight back, though. The Knights, if they can force an error here, that would at least be entertaining, if nothing else. As Boom hits the line and is buried there on the 30 for his second. Ashman comes out of dummy half, smashes, absolutely smashes through the line of defence and puts paid to any mention of a Knights comeback in the last couple of minutes. Mansour tries to do the same and just doesn't really have the same aura to do so. Gets over the 30 for his 4th. They come around. Cashman does it again. 15 metres out. Can the Tigers put up one last attacking kick and claw back some of that defence? Here we go. Mansour, Bennett just hits the line, which, you know, in the end is probably the right decision with a minute left on the clock. And the Knights, they'll probably finish this set with ball in hand, Liam. No.
Did you say that? No, they won't. Oh, wow. Bennett, that's a big play from the Tigers. They might have a chance to make this. I was going to say it might be 19 plus, but no, it's only going to be Jeff Kane. He does a brilliant job, and it's a captain's knock. He deserves that, Jeff Kane. He's been terrific tonight, as just said AMAC. And yeah, the Tigers, they deserve this win because, yeah, they've certainly had a tough first 8 weeks this comp, and Kane's going to try and convert to make it 28-12 to close this one up. And yeah, I'm as someone that's a fan of the underdogs, I'm certainly happy for Jeff Kane.
Yeah, he'll be a little bit salty with himself though, because his misconversion is the difference between him and his bet getting up of Tigers 19 plus. So we will have a single kickoff here. Pretzel's going to take his time. He's heard the buzzer, but he's not really happy with how the buzzer's gone. My out the back there, looking pretty dirty from all the defense that they've had to make tonight. Taking their time so that they can give the Steel City fans a little bit more footy. Really filling in the gaps here as Leondis takes a hit up and is buried just on the other side of the 10. The Tigers, they have won their 2nd of the season and in one hell of an emphatic way, Liam.
Yes, this is a brilliant win for the West Tigers. Absolutely needed, and it's brilliant stuff from them. As we were running through some of these stats, obviously the 5 tries to 2, the possession, it swung a little bit in favour of the Knights, but it didn't really even up, 60% to 40. As we look at some of the arrow count, 9 to 8, it wasn't really much of a factor here tonight. The penalties, the Tigers conceded 2 penalties and the Knights none, and still the Tigers came out as huge victors here. As the tackle count, that was crucial. 236 tackles by the Knights certainly took a toll on them defensively. Only 177 made by the Tigers, and yeah, it certainly allowed them to be so deadly in attack. And we look at the missed tackles, 31 from the Knights and 23 from the Tigers. That's not too many difference from the Knights, but yeah, certainly made the difference. And 15 line breaks to 8. That's really where I think the game lied tonight. With the line breaks, the Tigers, they were just able to penetrate that line a bit better tonight, and the meterage, the Tigers absolutely dominate that. It's pretty much 300 meters more, and yeah, that certainly proves their domination, mate.
As we come over to some of the individual stats here for the Knights, there's a couple of blokes out there who've tried their hardest. We've got Joey June with 109 run meters, a lot of tackles there for the second rower. 27, a couple of missed. Captain Pretzel, 115 run meters, 18 tackles of his own, none missed. A couple of good kicks. He had a good night with the boot compared to some past nights. So whatever he's doing at training is doing at least a little bit better. A couple of errors to his name. We'll just forget that for a second. We keep on going down. There's my Arva, 122, couple of tackles. A tough night out there on the wing. Liam, who else do we think we need to name out here?
I think that Hodgkinson, 248 meters down there and on the wing. I'm not sure if that's completely accurate with only 2 line breaks, but yeah, he had the try, and yeah, I guess it could be in theory, but yeah, that seems a little much for what he did tonight. And yeah, Alex Romy, he was decent in the halves, only 112 meters, 4 kicks for 137 meters. He was okay, but yeah, I'm not sure if there's anyone else because, yeah, I think while they tried hard, a fair few of them, it was just mediocre from the majority of these lads.
That brings us to the Tigers, the victors of the night. And this is going to be some good reading. If we got Isaac Simons, one of your benchies, 91 meters, you know this is going to work well. Josh Dobson, 100. Cashman in dummy half there, 191 run meters. Next to no tackles compared to what a lot of hookers have to do. But 3 try assists is one hell of a good night there. Eru Ramrad, 213 run meters. He had a bit of a touch and go night with some calls here, a bit of a dodgy kick or off over the sideline. But 213 is nothing to be sniffed at there, Liam.
Yeah, definitely. Ramrad was very solid here tonight, and certainly be proud of his efforts as we look at Cody Mansour, 187 meters. That's pretty solid from him. 4 line breaks. He had the 9 tackles, a couple missed. We'll ignore that. He still had a couple errors, but I thought Mansour was fairly solid. Scrolling down, we have Leondis, 157 meters in the halfback slot. Jake Xander, I thought he had a really decent night, particularly in that first half. 132 meters in total tonight. Had the 3 line breaks. He was reasonably solid, but just a little bit quiet in that second half. And we say Jeff Kane, yeah, that was a brilliant night from the captain. 161 meters. Not as many as I would have thought, but solid defensively as well. 22 tackles, only the 1 missed. And he obviously had that try and converted for the Tigers 5 tries. So very solid night from Jeff Kane.
Well, that's all from us then here at SRL Central. I've been AMAC in the box with Liam Ryan. That is it for round 9 of SRL 2.1. Enjoy the rest of your week.